how much my team needed me. Like I said last game, I mean, it was very tough for me. I didn't sleep. And the competitor in me wanted to win that game so bad. And I replayed that play so many times, but I'm like, why would I let one moment dictate everything else that I have going on that is positive? So just being able to show up again for my team, it would have been negative for me not to come out tonight and just bounce back. And I knew they expected it from me. So just being able to do it, obviously, against Asia, trying to deflect as many passes as I can. I mean, she's going to get her shots up, of course. But just knowing my spots and how great I am defensively to put pressure.
The moment that just shattered the WNBA's carefully crafted narrative wasn't the missed shot itself, but the single, unfiltered smile that followed it. Angel Reese, the self-proclaimed Bayou Barbie, stood at the rim, a chance to be the hero to cement her team's win in a nationally televised game hanging in the balance. But then it was gone. And across the court, the cameras caught Caitlin Clark, a subtle smirk playing on her lips as the opportunity evaporated. In that instant, an already explosive rivalry reignited, not just between two players, but between two fan bases, two media narratives, and an entire league that suddenly found itself scrambling to control a storyline that had just gone wildly off script.
Hey man, Angel Reese back in action as the Atlanta Dream did beat the Las Vegas Aces. Thank you. You just helped Caitlin Clark move up in the standings. Angel Reese has 6 more layups blocked. I mean, come on. It's ridiculous. You look, congratulations. You had another double McDouble. You actually had 20 points this time. I don't know how they let you do that. But Angel Reese had
backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in.
Really is just comedy at this point. Even in games that aren't absolutely pathetic, we still are able to get a laugh out of them. After one of the most disastrous performances we have ever seen in the WNBA, to one of the worst showings in WNBA history, missing wide open layups, missing layup game winners, Angel Reese returned to the court last night against Las Vegas Aces.
But here's where it gets absolutely wild. That missed layup, that fleeting expression on Clark's face, it wasn't just a random play in a game. It was a perfectly timed, almost poetic piece of sports irony years in the making. Remember back to their college days? The legendary LSU versus Iowa matchups. Specifically that iconic image of a young Angel Reese, trailing Caitlin Clark around the court, a taunting grin plastered on her face, waving her hand right in front of her own eyes as if to say, "You can't see me. This moment, it's all mine." It was playful, yes, but it was also incredibly provocative, and it became one of the asterisk defining images of a rivalry that would ultimately follow both women and their massive fan bases right into the professional ranks.
Level. And I know we say that every single video because she's been on an insane stretch. She's been averaging 26 and 9 over the past 11 games. But yo, the way she's added on this mid-range shot to her game, it's like in the blink of an eye, she became a top 3 mid-range shooter in the whole league. Also, her dribble moves are so tight right now. She's flowing and going and dishing the ball to her teammates like no other. I mean, she just has looked exceptional. And Kelsey Mitchell struggled today, but she still had her 20 and a big shot.
Backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in.
No, it's not how you start, it's how you finish, and that energy is contagious because if you look at Angel Reese, she already has 7 and 9. She's already getting close to a double-double, but then also, if you think about, on the other side here, you're seeing the Indiana Fever, they're just being a little bit methodical as well because I like these good to great plays. You see Caitlin orchestrating. It's like both sides are leaning into their strengths on this one.
Let's go back to Angel really quickly, though, because she was part of the catalyst that you saw to be able to change things around, and she said to Holly, I just feel like I needed to take a deep breath and maybe stop overthinking.
Now listen to this part. Fast forward to this past week, to that pivotal moment in the WNBA game, and what did the cameras catch? Something remarkably, almost eerily similar. Except this time, the smile belonged exclusively to Clark. This wasn't just a coincidence. It felt like the universe itself was playing a cosmic prank. The architect of the original taunt was now on the receiving end, forced to watch her biggest rival react with a quiet, almost knowing amusement to her own agonizing failure. It was a full-circle moment that sent the internet into an immediate frenzy, connecting the dots faster than any broadcast could.
I don't know what it is, but this weekend has to be one of the worst weekends ever for Angel Reese, bro. I mean, she became a meme last game. She became a super duper meme this game. And all I got to tell you is, Caitlin Clark truly gets the last laugh, man. Angel Reese missed the damn layup. Now, for all of the Angel Reese fans, I just want y'all to calm down, because this is nothing new.
Backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in.
More WNBA drama. I'm about to play the video, but Caitlin Clark is facing criticism now because she laughed at Angel and her team because they kept missing their layups to tie up the game. I would laugh too. Look at that. Airballed the three. Missed the layup. Missed it again. Missed it again. Come on, bro. Who not finna giggle at that? Any normal NBA player would clown the other team if they had 4 chances to win the game and didn't win. One thing about Angel Reese, though, she's finna get them rebounds because Kalshi even got her predicted to win leader of...
And get this, the immediate aftermath only made the story even more compelling. It was Angel Reese who found herself in the hot seat, facing reporters, having to explain herself, her performance, and that agonizing missed shot. She told anyone who would listen that the missed layup, the one that cost her team a legitimate chance to win, stayed with her all night. She barely slept. You can't make this stuff up. It's almost as if the basketball court itself has a memory, a long, unforgiving memory, and it decided this was the perfect time to remind everyone involved that what goes around truly does come around.
She was not missing because of the Indiana Fever's defense. Fam, she was blocked 3 times. She was blocked 3 times in the first half. What are you talking about? Hey, man. This is ridiculous work. Look, you can just see the double standard, right? If Caitlin Clark was 3 for 10 from the field, and mind you, shooting mid-ranges, right? Shooting mid-ranges, shooting threes, they would have had nothing good to say about Caitlin. They would have had nothing good to say about her, man. Like, stop with this.
Backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in.
The game with Angel Reese missing everything from behind the arc, and she does get into a groove as we go on into the game, and by groove I mean she gets some rebounds. But yeah, we're gonna be real honest about her in this video. Here you see her waiting for the dribble handoff action so she can get it to Alicia, and she drills it. Once again, exceptional performance from her. And not too long after, you see Alicia get it on the other side of the court, drilling this 3 on that left wing. Like I say, she's gonna hoop today, but we come back the way of Indiana, where Caitlin Clark gets all the way to the cup.
To truly understand how we got to this seismic moment, you have to rewind just a little further to the weekend before that fateful shot. Because ESPN, the network broadcasting the game, didn't stumble into this storyline by accident. They engineered asterisk it. Angel Reese's rebounding numbers are elite, let's be clear. Her motor is relentless, her physicality undeniable. Nobody serious about the sport disputes that part of her resume. But when an entire broadcast feature is built almost exclusively around *1 skill, it raises a quiet, nagging question in the back of your mind. What about everything else? Sunday provided a brutal, undeniable answer, and it did not arrive gently.
The Angel Reese glazing is crazy. I'm sure you were tuned in to our favorite reality TV show last night. And by now, you've seen the video of Caitlin Clark laughing at Angel Reese after she missed the game-winning layup against the Fever last night. I'm sure you've also seen this clip of Angel Reese missing a wide-open layup in the first quarter. But what I'm sure you missed was the halftime commentary about Angel Reese's performance in the first half last night. I don't know who her team is paying to get them to gaslight us like
Backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in.
Angel Reese haunted by last game. Haunted after blowing the game winner. And then follows that up, getting blocked 6 times. And the referees putting her on the foul line if somebody so as much looked. I didn't sleep. Last game, it was very tough for me. I didn't sleep. I replay that play so many.
Indiana traveled to Atlanta for a game that had been aggressively marketed all weekend long as a coronation for Angel Reese. The broadcast booth, featuring Ryan Riwako and Rebecca Lobo, treated her like the undisputed centerpiece of the entire league, almost as if the script had already been written. But then the ball went up, and the supposed coronation began writing its own unexpected punchline. In the very first quarter, Reese found herself alone on a fast break, nothing but open floor and an undefended rim ahead of her. The kind of layup that professional players convert with their eyes closed, a routine play. She missed it anyway, badly. So badly, in fact, that it became an instant highlight reel for all the wrong reasons, the sort of clip replayed not for its impressiveness, but for its sheer, almost unbelievable ineptitude. If you had told anyone watching that this would be the worst miss of her afternoon, they would have believed you. They would have been tragically wrong.
And guess what? Angel Reese couldn't even make a damn layup to win the game. And I'm telling you right now, this is hella funny. Oh my God, this is super funny. This is more funnier than the video of the guy pretending to be Angel Reese. I mean, she literally hit the floor, put her hands over her head. Sorry, guys. Hit the floor, put her hands over her head like, oh my God, I messed up. Yeah, you messed up real bad, Angel. Real.
Backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in. By halftime, the stat sheet for Reese painted a concerning picture. 3 makes on 10 attempts, a measly 7 points paired with 9 rebounds. It was a statistical snapshot that told 2 wildly different stories depending on which number you chose to focus on. When sideline reporter Holly Rowe asked Reese what adjustments needed to be made, Reese offered an answer that instantly became more famous than the interview itself, admitting in her own words that she felt like she was playing like doo-doo. Now it takes a certain amount of brutal self-awareness to describe your own performance that bluntly, and in a strange way, it was one of the most honest moments of the entire broadcast. The problem? Almost nobody in the studio seemed willing to match that honesty. Instead, the halftime crew, Monica McNutt, Chiny Aguamike, and Andrea Carter, kept circling back to Reese as the emotional and competitive engine of the game, praising her energy, her mentorship of a rookie teammate, her supposed catalytic effect on Atlanta's defense, all while the graphics sitting directly beneath them showed a shooting percentage that told a completely different, far more unflattering story. It wasn't basketball analysis. It was like watching 3 people describe a car accident as a scenic detour, completely ignoring the mangled wreckage. Backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in. There's a version of this where you chalk it up to coincidence. 3 broadcasters simply riding an emotional wave without checking the box score too closely. But context makes that explanation incredibly difficult to swallow, because this wasn't some spontaneous reaction. This was the continuation of a narrative that had been carefully constructed over the previous 48 hours. The network had clearly decided long before the opening tip that this entire weekend belonged to Angel Reese. And once that decision had been made, the on-air talent seemed absolutely determined to protect that story, regardless of what actually unfolded on the hardwood. When a player tells you directly that she's struggling, that her performance is doo-doo, and the response from the people paid to analyze the game is to call her a catalyst anyway, you have to start wondering whose interests are actually being served here. Is it the players, the fans? Or is it a predetermined, manufactured narrative designed to drive eyeballs and engagement? Consequences be damned. Backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in. But wait, it gets worse. The most damning sequence didn't even come in the first half. It came at the very end of regulation with the score tied, the clock bleeding out, and the game on the line. Kelsey Mitchell missed a potential go-ahead 3-pointer, and the ball caromed directly, almost perfectly, toward the rim, landing right in Reese's hands. This wasn't a contested, off-balance attempt against a wall of defenders. This was a clean look, point-blank range, the kind of putback that decides games and builds legends. It was a moment begging for a hero, and she missed that one too. Not a rushed shot, not a difficult angle, just a shot that absolutely needed to go in and didn't. Atlanta had one final possession to salvage the moment and couldn't convert, sending the game to overtime, where Indiana closed it out decisively, winning by 4 points in a contest that had been agonizingly close until the very end. Backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in. Reese finished the game with 15 points, 4 rebounds short of matching her season averages in other categories, and a shooting clip that included a brutal 3 makes on 13 attempts specifically in the paint, the exact area of the floor where she is supposed to be most dangerous, her absolute bread and butter. And then the cameras found Caitlin Clark. She was smiling, seemingly amused by something in the aftermath of the win. And within minutes, the internet had connected the dots between that expression and the missed shot that preceded it. Whether Clark was actually laughing at Reese specifically is almost beside the point at this stage, because the internet doesn't require confirmation to reach a verdict. It only requires a plausible narrative, and this one wrote itself with chilling precision. Social media users immediately dug up the old LSU footage of Reese trailing Clark around the court years earlier, waving her hand in front of her face in that now famous taunting gesture. The symmetry was simply too perfect to ignore. The phrase, "chickens coming home to roost," started trending almost immediately, and within hours, the missed layup and the smile had merged into a single, inescapable storyline. Reese had spent years cultivating a rivalry built on provocation, on a willingness to get under her opponent's skin, and now the tables had turned in the most public, most humiliating way imaginable. /in, /in. This is where the conversation gets more complicated than simple mockery, because there's a massive financial and reputational calculation buried underneath all of this that absolutely deserves acknowledgement. Attaching herself to the biggest star in the sport, Caitlin Clark, was, from a pure business standpoint, an extremely smart move for Reese. Every segment built around the Clark-Reese dynamic, every debate show argument, every thumbnail generated by their perceived rivalry, all of it translated into visibility, into eyeballs, into currency that Reese would likely not have received otherwise. Proximity to the league's biggest attraction is its own kind of power, its own kind of money, and she cashed in on that currency for years. But here's the kicker: visibility cuts in both directions. Reese's game genuinely generates rebounds and energy, both valuable in their own right. But when the moment calls for someone to simply finish a shot at the rim, to convert under pressure, the difference between the two players becomes impossible to disguise. That difference is exactly why the reaction online carried the intensity it did. Not all of the mockery was fair, and some of it certainly drifted into territory that had less to do with basketball and more to do with tribalism between fan bases that had been sniping at each other for years. /in, /in. But a meaningful, undeniable portion of the criticism was simply earned, built on tape rather than bias. It was rooted in the undeniable fact that a player who has spent years positioning herself as a co-headliner, as an equal in star power, missed the two most consequential shots of a nationally televised game, while the network covering it insisted on calling her the story of the weekend, regardless of what actually happened on the floor. In the days that followed, Reese addressed the moment publicly, and her comments revealed just how much that missed shot weighed on her personally. She talked about it staying with her, about the sleepless night. But there's a crucial difference between processing a difficult loss privately and using that same moment to reposition yourself as a victim of circumstance, especially when the broader criticism aimed at her wasn't really about one single missed shot at all. It was about a pattern, about a season's worth of finishing struggles inside the paint, about a media apparatus that had spent an entire weekend building a monument around her rebounding numbers while conveniently ignoring the part of her game that continues to hold her back from true superstardom.